welcome, one and all to Danger Recall. This is the show where we talk about our show, and we've not decided yet, but it's the old new show or the new old show. We're not sure yet. Do you know what I mean? My guest today, I'm Colin Hubbard, by the way. I'll be your host for Danger Recall this episode. Do you know what I mean? My guests today are Ross Harmston.
Hello, I'm Ross Harmston.
And Scott Besgrove. How you doing, Scott?
I'm very well. Thank you, Con. It's lovely to be here. Thank you for having us on. Thanks for the coffee, and you've got a great studio here.
Oh, it's nice, isn't it? Apart from the banging downstairs and, other things that go on in London.
I like the fireplace and the fire.
It's weird that you can't hear... Oh.
That's my... What's it? Foley? The Foley, the noise...
Fire.
Axel Foley.
It's not Axel. It's not Eddie Murphy as Axel Foley. No.
Now we have to do Danger Recall, where we analyse these shows and the references that we come up with in this one.
Yeah.
I also really like next to the fireplace, you've got an owl bear rug as well.
Yeah,
that's a nice
touch.
Yeah.
It's not real. Like there's no owls or bears that were killed.
Good,
Hey,
well
isn't an owl bear a D&D thing, not a Pathfinder thing?
they're in both.
Are they?
But yeah, Pathfinder. Well,
Yeah,
Pathfinder
of course.
basically was D&D when it started,
But
so it
didn't-
took all the same monsters and all the same races.
Didn't Pathfinder have to call it something else though? Call it a bear owl? A bear owl? I'm joking.
I know I played Pathfinder Kingmaker lately, and that uses the first edition rules on the computer game, and they definitely have owlbear. Oh boy, they have owlbears in that game. Oh boy.
If only the Master of Paizo was here to help us understand.
Master of Paizo.
Yeah, Dan.
My
Dan
title
Thompson.
is the Master of Paizo. Are you talking about Dan? I think you just meant the guy who runs Paizo.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah.
No, Dan is the Master of Paizo.
Don't tell the rest of Paizo that. They'll get really iffy about that.
All right, we're going to be talking about episode 8 and maybe 9. We'll see if we get to it. But we're going to talk. First up, we're going to talk about episode 8, which is called Skulkamania. It was released on the 23rd of the 7th, 2018. Music by Dimos Stahulias, Kevin MacLeod, Sword Coast Soundscapes, and of course Ross Budgeon. I believe we're recording at my house. We've got a couple of mics. I say in the intro actually that we're recording at my house. So that's how we know that. I say that I have all the mics. So everything's being stored at my house at the time. Anyway, doesn't matter. I just thought I'd mention that. Okay, so who's got a summary for episode 8?
Colin, I do.
All right, let's hear it.
Why, in episode 8, the Danger Club go and beat the shit out of a bunch of drug addicts. And also become a team and a family.
I like your recaps.
Thanks.
Yeah.
They're quick, concise, to the
quick,
point.
concise to the point.
I've got what everyone can't see is Colin's got a gun to my head with the sign that just says 2 sentences, 2 sentences, 2 sentences.
I mean, to be honest, I just let Dan go on one of these. I think it was like
see.
episode 2 or something, 3. And yeah, he was there for about 10 minutes.
Yeah,
I'm trying to think of it more like the Always Sunny in Philadelphia bit where like, the gang do that.
Yeah.
Something like that. But if you want me to go for 10 minutes, then oh boy.
Maybe another episode.
Maybe another episode. Danger Recall.
Yeah.
Recall.
Straight away, we have references from you, Ross, to the song "They See Me Rollin'."
Yes.
Which is actually not called that. That song is called Riding. And it's by Chamillionaire featuring Crazy Bone, released in 2005. And you start singing Trying to Catch a Natural 20. Yeah. So what's that from?
What? Trying to catch a natural...
That's the end of that song.
Yeah, that's the same song.
Oh, is it the same song?
It's trying to catch me riding dirty. Trying to catch me riding dirty.
Trying to catch me riding. Trying to catch me riding.
Nice. Yeah, I don't know that song very well. So well
Wow,
done.
now you do.
Well, now you are glad you've got us both in.
Now, I love the bit where he says, ride with a new chick. She like hold up next to the PlayStation controller. In the video to that song, she's holding an Xbox controller.
Come on. That's like Kanye West rapping about 300 Trojans when he's actually talking about 300 Spartans.
Yeah. Sometimes rappers make mistakes. They're just human,
Rappers have feelings.
What about on that old... even when I'm with my boo,
This is brilliant. I love this.
There's a pager and she's loading up an Excel spreadsheet to type in a text.
Yeah. She's got an Excel document open and she's getting really upset about She's supposed to be messaging Nelly, but she's not. She's actually doing
Early
a spreadsheet.
2000 tech era.
Yeah, which incidentally, the Tories are using the same spreadsheet to. Let's not get into it. All right.
just on the episode title, that is a mock of Hulkamania,
Of course,
which
yeah.
is a wrestling, a wrestler, Hulk Hogan. And when everyone was obsessed with Hulk Hogan, he called it Hulkamania, so we called it Skulkamania. See what we did there?
Love that. Yeah.
Clever.
Now, we mention a Fruity Loops. I say, let's load up Fruity Loops and go. We're going to make a song because we're all singing, all dancing that day. Now, Fruity Loops was a DAW, which is a digital audio workstation. If you've got things like Logic or GarageBand, it's very similar to that, but it was a free DAW that you could download. I don't know if it was free, but a lot of people pirated it in the early noughties, and it was quite a lot of grime artists credit Fruity Loops with like the sound of grime, early grime. It was like, oh mate, Fruity Loops was so good because they could get it for free. And it had a pattern-based music sequencer, which was amazing to use, really, really easy. Yeah, Fruity Loops. It's not called that anymore.
It's almost like Fruity Pebbles, which are an American cereal.
It's called FL Studio if you want to go and check it out. But Fruity Loops, yeah.
No, Fruity Pebbles.
Ross, is this first episode where you go, nay?
I
think we get to that in a bit, yeah.
Yeah. Skipping ahead. Wait, chill out, mate.
That's not the first thing I made a note of. It's the most distinctive thing for me. So,
We talk about
that's
how
true.
freelancers start businesses. Scott, do you want to talk about that a little bit? Because Dan mentions like, oh yeah, we're all a bunch of friends and we do something together. We're trying to make it a business. Do you ever do that? Apart from
no,
this?
not really. I mean, I
End
know
of discussion.
Cool. All right, let's move on.
Yeah, I mean, we could do business talk. I didn't know we were doing Danger Business Talk. Yeah, people do, and they start businesses, and that works out well for them. Sometimes you make a creative hobby, and you want to make money out of it. And then, what's that like, guys?
Yeah.
I think that's because we wanted to do that because we'd been playing. Everyone knows the story about us.
We've told it a million times. haven't we?
We've done it a lot now.
So yeah, actually, don't worry about it.
Yeah, let's just move on.
Forget
I'm
about
sorry
that
I brought
recall.
it up. I'm really sorry, recall. All right, at 10:20.
Nay! Let's get back to nay!
Exactly. At 10:20, we do have Fulton's Battle Cry, which we haven't heard in a while. I think we heard it very early on in the intros, but we didn't really hear it. We haven't heard it. Since.
So it originated from the character YouTube videos that we did introducing our characters, and I don't know why, but I just at the end of the video, I just screamed. Nay! Don't know why. I do that a lot. I scream random things like or what, just random things. And nay was the thing that came out of my mouth, and then it was hard to get it in because I was like, I remembered it. I was like, oh yeah, I'll put that in, and then I kept forgetting, and then eventually I put it in the show, which is I haven't used it for a while actually, so maybe I'll bring that back.
We also have a reference to On Your Left. Scott, do you want to talk about that?
Avengers.
Yeah.
That's where that reference comes from.
Do you know where it first appears?
Hey?
Do you know where it first appears?
Captain America, Winter Soldier.
Yes.
When he's running around the park in Washington, D.C.,
Yeah.
I presume. And Falcon does a little run and gets lapped by Captain America. And then he is the one who does the lapping at the very end. That's what we call a setup and payoff.
Do you know when it's next referenced?
Oh, is it referenced more than once?
It's referenced a few times throughout the films.
No, I only caught the beginning and end. I'm a bookend kind of guy. I'm a start and finish.
Sure. I only watch the beginning and end of movies.
I'm there for the end of the joke, and as soon as that happens, bye. See you later. Done.
So the next reference. Do you know this, Ross? Do you know when it's
No.
next reference? The next reference is at the end of Winter Soldier when Captain America is waking up from his injuries, and Sam says, "On your left." And he's sitting there next to him. That was a bad impression of him, but you know what I mean? Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
That's
so
cool.
it's then, and then it's at the end of, this is a major spoiler if you haven't seen it. So if you haven't seen Avengers Endgame, where have you been? Skip this 10 seconds.
Yeah.
Let's wait 10 seconds. And then say it, so they still get it. I'm joking. So when the portals are being opened by Doctor Strange,
Yeah.
Sam comes up on Captain America's comms when he's standing. That's such an awesome image, isn't it? When
Yeah.
he's standing there with half a shield and he's going to take on all Thanos and the whole army by himself.
Yeah.
And then he just says, Cap, on your left.
That's a good impression, actually.
That second impression was
Yeah,
better.
it
I
was
thought
good.
about it a bit more. Yeah. Thanks. All right, there we go. Dan gets a natural 20 against Shania, but does not confirm. And then we start talking about, someone says that don't impress me much. Does anyone want to talk about don't impress me much?
Shania Twain.
Exactly. Yeah.
Don't
Wait.
impress me. Yeah.
I think everyone knew that, right? I know we were speaking to some people who didn't actually realize that that's where, like recently, some people didn't realize that's where Drum's name for the character came from, Shania Reigns.
Shania Twain.
That was some fans recently, I think.
Yeah.
Was it even, I don't want to badmouth James when he's not here, but
Yeah.
didn't James, no, James got it. There was someone else. There was someone else who we know. Anyway.
Someone we love and respect.
Yeah.
That we don't love and respect anymore.
We don't talk to them anymore.
We'll tell you who it is if we remember.
They certainly don't impress us much anymore.
Now, this was a hit in 1998, co-written by Shania and someone else that didn't get the name. The 6th country single, 7th overall from her 3rd album, Come On Over, in 1997. There you go. Deep dive there on Shania Twain. Then we have a reference to Poison Arrow. Yeah. Shoot that poison arrow. To my heart.
So the
Yes.
arrow wasn't poisoned.
No, it wasn't.
Ah,
But that was
stupid reference then, wasn't it?
That was by a band, the new wave band ABC in 1982, second single from their debut, The Lexicon of Love. There you go. Deep dive onto that song
Nice.
as well. 20 minutes in, another natural 20 from Dan. And then a third.
Is he using Bad Moon at that point?
I don't think he is.
No, I don't think he is.
Given what we, and I was thinking of bringing this up as well, given what we know about Dan and MZ,
Uh-huh.
all I've just written is 3 natural 20s, 2 on MZ, sus. You know? Like,
Yeah, man.
Dan sus on this one.
Do we think it was a conspiracy? He was just doing this?
I think the dice gave him it, but
maybe he's foreshadowing it.
he might have awakened his innate bloodlust for the Blood Rager.
Do you know what? At that point, I think M says M's dead, man. Yeah, I think I say that.
I mean, you say that a lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
M got the shit kicked out of him quite
Yeah.
often, didn't
Yeah,
he?
he did, yeah. He wasn't the tank.
I think in this episode, I say, "Well, you're not the tank, are you?"
Yeah,
You found
yeah.
that out now.
Yeah.
Yeah, bit of foreshadowing. Iron Fang dice, Scott. Do you want to talk about those?
Oh, no, I don't. I've banned them. I've purged them from every. I've had to light sage and infill it in my room to get rid of the aura of those Iron Fang dice that just kept betraying me. When I run games for my players, whenever they're in an encounter that's too hard for them, I will bring out the Iron Fang dice so I know that the monsters will roll poorly.
Right.
That's what I do now for them. But yeah, I explained about where I got them and stuff on the episode. They were the Hobgoblin War expansion for Pathfinder 1E. There was, in fact, it's the Hobgoblin Warlord who invades, but in Pathfinder 2E they give her a bit more background, so she's actually more of a fleshed out character now. She's not presented as wholly evil as she was in the first edition. They've done that a couple of times actually in Pathfinder. They've fleshed out and humanized a lot of their previously bad characters. So now I think in 2E, I think that particular Hobgoblin Warlord in charge, or the antagonist for Iron Fang expansion is now someone you can go meet and have like a reasonable conversation with. The Onyx thing, we had one of the backgrounds. Someone was an Onyx trader and got Onyx from these people.
Yeah. Where was that? That was on the outskirts of Camargo, I think.
Yeah, we did. It was one of our lockdown episodes where someone had Onyx trader as a background.
Oh, yeah.
It might have even been old Tom, actually.
Old Tom.
Old Tom.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, that was an accidental deep dive on.
That was nice. I like that. That was good. That's what Danger Recall is all about, Scott.
Went
So
all
that's
the
why
way
you're
in
here,
on the
yeah.
Iron Fang dice. But yeah, I've still got them.
It's good that companies do that.
Yeah.
They change certain things coming up, with 2020 eyes, and they redo things and they go, okay, this was a bit rubbish back in the day when we did this, so let's redo it. So like a lot of the D&D adventure modules, they keep revisiting them and like adding they like listen to the fans and then they change some things.
I think it's good to make sure that you're saying as well, like, you've still got your bad guys. Are they bad guys because of who they were born as, or are they bad guys because of the choices that they actively made? And that's the choices. And you can still have your bad guys that are, you know, classic orcs or whatever. But are they bad because of the things that they have done? That's fine.
Not because they're orcs.
Bad guy. Yeah, not because how they were born. Yeah, that's just different, I think.
All right, so M gets a natural 20 to see drow markings while Shania heals him. You know, M's sight beyond sight. And then Fulton hits to help Caragor, and he doesn't want the help. Do you remember that? I love this little bit when Caragor doesn't really
You kill steal from me. Just like, I can't remember Scott straight away. You kill steal from me. You kill steal. And I was fine. Yeah, I remember Caragor having that one bit where he just discovered he was actually all right with his cutlass and he was doing okay with it. And Fulton just goes, yeah, there you go. I helped you.
He's like, I don't need your help, actually.
Livid. Caragor's livid.
I love the slapping of the kilt around. The conversation about the Skulk calling Caragor Kaz.
The Skulk calls Caragor Kaz. That's right, because I called Rogeth. I call him Roger.
Rogi,
And then Rogi goes, oh, that's a bit racist. And then Caragor says, you can call me Kaz if you want. And Rogi goes, I don't want to. And then Caragor goes, well, it's your choice. And then punches him. Choice and agency in all things, I think.
Yeah, it's good. And then Shania, when we all walk outside, Shania comes out into the light and she flinches, and we all see that, don't we, as characters?
Yes.
And I can hear the slight buzz from my USB microphone. So this tells me that we're using older equipment, because there was one microphone we used, and I'm not going to say the name of it because I don't want to badmouth this company, because they're actually really good. But
yeah, I mean, they're really popular, so you're not really bad-mouthing it. Didn't Dan have his own mic and you had your own mic, and then we had the USB mic in the middle?
Yeah, we had two. No, we had two more. I think at this point in time we had about 4 mics.
Okay.
So we had like an SM58 that we used, and then we had my condenser mic. We had Dan's condenser mic, and then I think we had 2 USB mics. Yes,
because I think it was Dan was on the end of the table. Yeah. You were on the other end, and then it was us. It was a similar sort of, and then 2, but we had one that we were sharing, wasn't it?
That's right. Yeah. So so many mics we were using at this point in time. Yeah. We kind of had books and stuff that we were piling stuff on. We didn't have enough.
And we didn't have a mixer.
No mixer yet. No mixer yet. Kemoth and Unami is mentioned about 6 times, but in various different formations. We find out that Shiver is a potent hallucinogenic drug. Oh no, this is what I found out. It is a potent hallucinogenic drug. It's processed from the venom of a spider.
Oh.
And it kind of lets you dream in this really weird state, and it makes you shiver when you dream. Shania says she's going to look after the children in a really creepy way.
Yeah, it's a bit of a brutal moment that wasn't it? We sort of get in there, find out these drug addicts are like pulling knives on us. We're like, cool, we know how this is going to go. And then we find out they've got kids. And then we're like, oh. And then you can hear all our motivations changing as everyone's like, yeah, I know, I'm chaotic neutral. I'm just kicking about, kicking open doors, and we're punching people and stuff. And we find out kids are involved, and everyone just backs up and goes, all right, okay.
Also, Shania is still known as Gary at this stage. And we get told that we could go and see the Sphinx, and we could have done that in episode 1. It's quite funny. I just love that. And then we have... Velda's bit where he starts talking to the Skulks. Now, look, you can go and get the rubbish, but we don't want to see you in town.
After everyone else has done like the heavy intimidating, Velda sort of like goes in afterwards and sort of is like, reprimanding father.
Just like a teacher, like, okay. It's really funny. Now you can't go over there, but you can go over there. I think that was really funny. And then we end nice with all of us complimenting each other. And how we've come together as a team, loads of high fives.
Yeah, we did.
How long has it been in game that we've known each other? Is it a day or 2 days?
Yeah.
1 day.
Yeah, and we're already like...
But obviously there's a few different bits there, like you and Fulton and MZ knew each other beforehand.
Yeah.
Do you know what? We did have a sleep, didn't we? We did go to sleep one night.
Yes, so it's been like 2 days.
2 days.
I mean, although, it's funny how like you think of it like, oh, we've been doing this for like 3, 4, 5 weeks, but then you're like, actually, in game, it's like 2 days.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So the fact that we still don't know Shania's real name is an interesting one, because actually could be plausible.
And then Travis, we see Travis and he says, there's been another murder.
Yeah.
He doesn't say it like that. But and then we're like, oh, another murder, what? We can't get any rest. Can't get any rest.
What's that reference of you doing a Scottish? There's been a murder.
You'll have to wait until Danger Recall in about 10 years' time. Yeah.
But it's true though, the point of like everything, you hear it in a couple of episodes later as well, where we're literally just about to finish this one bit, and then someone turns up and it's like, there's a fight or there's a murder. Obviously, I don't know how much of that is the model and how much of that is Dan just like piling pressure on us.
And we could just be like, look, we're going to leave this one. We could really go and rest. We need to rest. We've got no spells. We've got no hit points. But we don't. We just go, yeah, all right, let's go.
Because that's what adventurers do.
That was episode 8. Should we do episode 9?
Yeah.
Let's do it. All right. Cool. Okay, nice one. So, so we've got this episode was released on the 30th of the 7th, 2018. Music by Kevin MacLeod, Source, Coast Soundscapes, and Ross Budgeon. It's called Getting Clown to Business. Getting down to business. Let's go. First, real hello, everyone, and welcome to. That's the first time we've had that in episode 9, sorry. Before then, we've just kind of had hello and blah, 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 da, da, da. First time that Dan said his catchphrase. What becomes his catchphrase from now on. And we talk about deities, don't we? We talk about Iomade or Yomadai.
I've written it down phonetically as you said it in the episode. Is A-Y space Y-O space Mayday.
Do you know what? This is the thing, because at this time I'm quite a novice when it comes to playing. I still am, really, compared to you guys, but I'm going to keep saying that.
No, you're not. No, you're not.
It's been years.
Anyway, but like, yeah. I'm going to try and get away with it.
Been playing 3 years, but I'm still a novice.
But when I looked up this religion, it's spelt phonetically, and it's very similar to what you are saying in the book. And I'm like, Iomade. So I came in all confident, like, Iomade. And
to be absolutely fair to you, that is a word with a horrendous amount of vowels in all the wrong places. Yeah. And like we were saying on a different Danger Recall episode, fantasy words, huh? You know what? Like, nerds can like really pop off at people for getting wrong pronunciation. And no matter what you say, it is funny, and it's always a point for talking about, I think. But at the end of the day, they are fantasy made up words with a lot of extra vowels in. And Yomadai especially, I was like, nope, not even going to try saying that one out loud. And imagine like in world as well, if your characters are saying it, I think about religions, you know, like people will get ticked off. Yomadai is a little more, Yomadai seems to be lawful good, but on the slightly more militant side of lawful good. So, you know, they can imagine the followers every now and then and be like, what did you say?
Yeah.
Also, I read something once and it said something like, never judge someone if they pronounce something wrong, because they've learned that word by reading. They haven't been told how to say it. They've just read it and they've gone, okay, well, it must mean that because I've made the connection of every other word that I've ever read.
It's true.
For instance, Kevin Feige. You know, I've only ever read that word and heard it said out loud. But yeah, you're absolutely right. I think that comes up with fantasy people all the time. They read books and don't really talk about them for a while. And then you read things on the internet and then you say it out loud to your first friend at a con. And then all of a sudden everyone's like, ha 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 ha. And you're like standing there in your Gundam outfit in the rain. And then you're trying to get on a bus and everyone's crying and you're crying. And anyway, I
used to host pub quizzes, and these quizzes were written by someone else who is extremely intelligent. And I'm a bit more street smart, aren't I? Do you know what I mean? So
a bit more street smart.
Colin did the shoulders and
I did the shoulders and everything. Yeah, like so. My education wasn't amazing. I'm not going to lie to you, but I've learned a lot of stuff since I left school. So I pronounce it. I find things out even today, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's how that's pronounced. But I'd say it over a microphone to a pub full of people that and pissed people are just wankers. So they just used to go, that's now how it's pronounced, and I'd be like, all right, well, tell me how it's pronounced then. You pissed up nutter. or I'd go, well, actually, I've heard it pronounced both ways, and then I'd walk away.
Halfway through the pub quiz, I just walk out.
Yeah. Anyway, so we say tweet in, but we do not say tweet us.
Oh.
That hasn't happened yet. I'm still waiting for it. Scott says it to the Lings, but not to anyone. And then we talk about the song Switch by Will Smith. Love this song. I absolutely love this song, right? Go and check it out. Switch by Will Smith was a later song, 2005, from his fourth album, Lost and Found, produced by Kwame K1 Mill. Went to number 1 in Australia. There's also a song on the album with Snoop called Pump Your Brakes. There you go. Check that out if
Number
you
one
want.
in Australia. I didn't know that.
There you go.
Will Smith is a funny one. His records are
is funny.
his records are really good. Like, they're catchy, but they are so PG, aren't they? You know how they're all, very politically correct. He's like, respect your mother, and it's all very, there's no swearing, which is good. It's just funny how, I think he took a dip when he did Aladdin, but he did,
I think he knows the demographic, doesn't he?
Yeah.
From when he started off his musical career, obviously knowing what people watching the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air were like age-wise, that's how he started off, and he built a success on that. And like another rapper said, Will Smith don't got a cuss in his rap to sell podcasts, but I do. So F him and F me too.
Now he's actually
true.
a rapper before he was an actor.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Fresh
Yeah.
Prince, DJ Jazzy Jeff from the Fresh Prince were
Yeah.
They used to tour with like all the old school rappers. Like
When did Summertime come out? Before-
that was after. Yeah, that was after he was.
Will Smith released a record before Summertime.
Oh my god, his music like back in the day is really sick, really really good.
What, better than Getting Jiggy with It?
Check it out.
Getting Jiggy with
It's
It.
really good. It's really good, solid old school hip hop. And they used to go on tour with like Biz Markie and KRS-One and people like that. It was
And
great.
KRS-One? Will Smith
man.
and KRS-One?
Yeah.
Really?
I mean, I could be
There you
slightly
go.
wrong about that, but definitely Biz Markie.
Tweet us KRS-One.
Yeah. It was
you
great.
go.
It was really good. Yeah, he's got things like Girls of the World.
It's so funny how he got his mate DJ Jazzy Jeff to just be in his
I love
TV show
this.
as well.
Now, this is the thing, because the next reference we make is to The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, and I have gone
Nice.
mad on this deep dive. All right, you ready for this?
Right.
Okay. The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air is an American sitcom aired on NBC from September 10th, 1990 to May 20th, 1996. There are 148 episodes, 6 seasons, and a reunion special is in development with the surviving members. There are famous people that make cameos throughout the seasons. Don Cheadle plays a character called Ice Tray. Go and check that out on YouTube. He's amazing at that. Rappers Heavy D, there was Naomi Campbell, Evander Holyfield, Oprah was in there. Donald Trump makes a appearance at one point. Chris Rock, William Shatner, and Tom Jones, to name but a few. Recently in 2019, someone made a trailer called Bel Air. Okay, this is like a reimagining of the Fresh Prince. I don't know if you've seen this. Go and check it out.
Yes,
everyone. It's
I think I
really,
did.
really good. There's a guy called Morgan Cooper, and he wrote and directed this thing, and it's kind of like a modern day retelling. Yeah, it's a modern retelling of the story. Now, Will Smith has seen this. Okay, he praised the fan film in August 2020, and it was announced that Smith and Cooper are now developing a reboot.
With
Netflix, Peacock, and HBO Max are all bidding for the show.
wow.
How amazing is that? This is just a guy who just decided to make this fan film, and all of a sudden he's just hot property across all these networks.
Imagine like you did that, and then you were like, "Oh, I had no idea." Like a story that I was going. I just did a trailer. I just did like a sort of like a rebooted trailer. I didn't think of like anything else.
Yeah, it's
Bit
really
like
good.
District
though.
9, that, isn't it? Bit like District
Whoa,
9.
whoa. What's going on?
How's it
Drum
going?
is in the building. How you feeling, Drum?
Yeah, I'm all right. I'm a bit sweaty.
Yeah.
But other than that, I'm all right.
Thanks for joining us. Yeah, on Danger Recall. This is your first appearance. I love that.
Yeah. Thanks for recalling me in, man.
Oh, it's nice as an actor to get a recall, isn't it?
It is. Oh, it's lovely. Absolutely lovely. Sometimes you get paid for those, you know.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
God, what a world we used to live in.
Not anymore.
All right, we're still in the intro. Scott buys Colin a D20 and a D8, bro.
Now, I've got to ask you,
Yeah.
do you still have that D20 and D8?
Yeah.
Come on, show it.
I haven't got right here.
I see. We are about to record an episode as
Yeah,
well.
we are. I know.
So I'm fine with
I
that.
better
I'm
dig them
fine
out. Right, we're still in the intro. And then we talk about D12. We talk about Purple Hills. which is the radio version of a song called Purple Pills by
Right.
D12, which is Eminem, Proof, Bizarre, Conniver, and Swifty McVeigh. It's on Devil's Night, and they had another album called D12 World. Oh, sorry, no, it's on D12 World, not on Devil's Night. Other way around. Both albums went double platinum. Dan challenges us to name another D12 song. We mention Fight Music, Instigator, Shit on You, and then I think Scott comes up with a bunch that are not really D12 songs.
How dare you? How very dare you?
I had their album. I had the D12 World and Devil's Night as well.
Yeah,
They were
me
good
too,
albums,
me
you
too.
know?
Yeah.
Great.
Fight Music was one of my favourite songs at the time. Yeah.
Can you remind me, Colin, which one of it was D12 that passed, sadly?
It was Proof. I've got that written down in my notes. Yeah, rest
Have
in
you?
peace. Yeah. we
Yeah,
do say it in the
yeah.
episode, but I think
Yeah.
someone talks over me. So thank you.
Oh,
for
really?
that. Yeah. That's
You know,
good.
it's just important. Like, you know what I mean? It's a thing that I remember going like, oh God, that chilled me to my core. I was like, that means like they're not going to make music anymore, because like, how can they possibly do it as D12 without their mate anymore? Like, and like, it just made me go like, oh God, life is precious.
Now I love this that you've turned up, John, because the gang they start out about 16 minutes in, they go to investigate this murder, this new murder, and Shania gets mad and says, "We need to go and see Kim Thanunami."
I said that a lot.
Yeah, yeah, it's really good. We call them Keenan and Unagi, though, just as a recap, just as a tracker,
Right.
just to see where we are with those names. We have the first high five sound effect.
Which is great, because I just threw that out in the episode, and I had genuine joy listening back to it and realizing that Colin did actually put in the high five sound effect.
There you go.
It's a genuine moment of smugness.
So we go and speak to Amara Dellison, which is the leader of the carnival. There's a murder. This body is split in two. There's blood everywhere. There's beast tracks. She's a priestess of Yomadai. And we have the first mention of
What?
Cop. Oh, no, it's the second one. What am I talking about?
Is it?
It's
I've
the
written
second.
I've written it down as the first time it got mentioned properly.
Right.
We set it
Yeah.
up, don't we, Drum? We
Yeah,
said we
yeah,
call
yeah.
like some kind of cop, and then someone else has the hilarious line of "What's a cop?" And then eventually we come to just agreeing that cops are a thing that exists, and we don't know what they are, but me and Shania are them.
Yeah.
That's
Now, was that
exactly it.
completely just like thrown out there? Cop was
Well,
just something that was just improvised?
Yeah, you know, he's a cop. I'm a cop. Like, you know what I mean?
It started off when, like, I
So
think
simple.
our
Yeah, yeah.
character, you were like, let's do it like some kind of like cop buddy movie thing where we have a montage.
Oh yeah,
right,
that's right.
yeah,
Yeah,
And
yeah,
then
yeah.
Dan mocks us for having that montage, and little did he know at the time he was seeding the genesis for Cop to become definitely a thing.
It's very, Dan Harmon, isn't it? You know, that
Yeah,
sort of
yeah,
like
yeah.
multi-dimensional space program, like cup. It's
Yeah.
a cup and another cup.
Yeah,
Cup
yeah,
and
yeah.
another cup.
Ross has actually
Makeup,
drawn
cup,
up an
cup.
amazing little like graphic for Cop, which we should wheel
It
out
was
again.
actually...
Oh yeah.
No, I did we did two. I think
did we?
you did one and I
Okay.
did one where
Let
they were
them
back to back.
fight.
Yeah.
I did like a movie poster.
Yeah, I mean, I did one as well. But it's
Wait,
fine.
which one? Okay, so the one I'm thinking of is the one where you just got mine and Drum's heads on top of two cops.
Yeah.
And it's like a nighttime scene.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
my
so
one.
Was
very
it Ross's?
dark.
Was it Ross's?
Oh, right. Okay.
Oh, no.
Let them fight.
We're going to wheel out Colin's one.
So
We're going to put it on the Instagram.
Colin, can you remind us of your one then?
Yeah, Cop was a photo taken down at the XL Centre when we were at Comic Con, and you two were both in your costume characters,
Right.
character costume, sorry, and you're back to back. And what I did is I edited all out the background. I coloured in your skin.
yeah,
Scott, to make you look like, and your skin as well, actually, to make it purple Drum, and yours to make it green. And then I made it like a movie poster. I put like an old city background in there, and I put cop. And I
do
had the
remember that now.
tagline was something like,
whatever.
"When one cop is not enough cop."
Oh, that's a great tagline. I actually don't know about you, Drum, but I'm actually slightly preferring that one now.
Yes!
Yeah. It feels like.
Fuck you,
like
Ross.
That's maybe the poster we're going to go with. What do you think
So
for
I'm
the
just
movie?
going to take my logo and just get out of here.
All right, funny that we started singing Let's Call the Whole Thing Off earlier on in, I believe, this part of Danger Recall, because we sang it in this episode. Now, that's from a song called You Say Potato, I Say... Sorry, it's a reference to You Say Potato, I Say Potato, song by George and Ira Gershwin from the film Shall We Dance from 1937, introduced to the world by Fred Astaire and Ginger Rogers.
No one says potato.
No, they don't. But you know, it's in the song, isn't it? Tomato, potato. Let's call the whole thing off. There you go. I just thought I'd
It's a
sing that for you.
classic
Then we
tune.
reference the second single by Travis, Driftwood. because I think
banger,
someone
mate.
starts
That's a
singing
pretty
Driftwood.
deep cut. That I mean, like
Yeah.
I know a little bit of Travis. You know, I why does it always rain on me? You know,
Mate, we're getting to that. Hold
oh
on,
God!
John.
Well,
It's the
sorry,
second-
I'm jumping the gun.
This is the second single from their album, The Man Who, which is their second album, biggest hit single up until that point. 1999 it was released, number 13 it got to. It was produced by Nigel Goldrich, written by the singer Fran Healy. Their song Why Does It Always Rain on Me became a bigger hit later that year. Driftwood, incidentally, is a song about the person that you know who has so much potential but they never use it as they're afraid of looking stupid. We all know people like that, right? If they put their minds to it, they could help so many people, but actually they just sit around on the sofa.
Sounds like the whole of Bristol, right? I mean,
Sweet as Bristol! Is that the first tweet it's in Danger
We've
Recall?
got several very circusy, very brightly coloured Bristolian friends, and they are coming for you with their joke flowers right now. Let me tell you.
listen. No, the only reason I say it is because a mate of mine that I used to hang around with said that Bristol was the graveyard of ambition. I mean, that's a reference.
Wow.
Jesus.
We're going there, people.
Hey, listen. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is there was a mate of mine who spent a lot of time wasting his talents there.
Yeah, okay.
And obviously him and his group of mates did. And so that's a personal reference for me.
Not for Bristol. Bristol, we love you. I love the city of
We
Bristol.
love Bristol.
Yeah, I love
I've
Bristol.
been there loads of times. I've seen many ambitious, well-driven people there.
I mean,
And
it's
Massive Attack.
the birthplace of drum and bass. So it's one of my favourite cities of
All
all
right,
time.
back to the episode. We find some clown clothes.
Yeah, and Caragor still has that quick release clown outfit. Haven't found a use for it yet. We should have done. It should have come up in the Caremarga heist, but you know.
Oh yeah, you could have. Yeah.
We go to the we're talking about going to the Yomodai temple. We could have done that before. We arranged to meet with Jerizana. We could have done that earlier. Keenan and Unami. That's where we are at the
Keeps talking
moment.
about how we could have met with the Sphinx earlier.
We could have
It's
done all of
almost
these things
it's almost like He's
earlier.
got a bee in his bonnet about it. I remember it was MZ.
It was Shania at the time,
Oh, yeah,
actually.
it was.
Shania
I
I
was
was
like,
just
"Let's
shouting
go
about
and do
it
that."
constantly.
Yeah, Shania gets annoyed at us for changing the plan. I've got written down here. There we go. That's so funny. Yeah, because we changed the plan. We were going to go and find Keeneth and Unami. But
Yeah.
then we changed it and we're going to go and see Jerizana. And you're like, oh, for fuck's sake. But after this, we go and see
Yeah.
Keeneth. Yeah.
Which we do because we find out that that's exactly what we need to do in the first place. God, it's making me angry now.
Have a bit of water, Drum. Have a bit of water.
Yeah,
Calm
I'm
down,
going to
son.
have a little bit of water. Yeah.
Yeah. Kara calls Shania. And we don't know Shania is Shania yet.
Yeah, that was just, I mean,
Gary,
weeks
I
mean,
and
it's
weeks
fine.
of having
Like, I'm not having a go
several
at you or
names
anything.
floating around. Eventually,
Yeah.
I was going to get it wrong at
Yeah.
some point, yeah.
We go to the change in tent, we grab the clown, and around 39 minutes, I say, is this clown bothering you? Now, this is a reference. Does anyone know where it's from?
It's bugging me since I listened to it.
Drum, when I listened to you, when I looked at you, I just thought, It's-
Paul.
it's not, it's from The Simpsons.
Oh,
It's a reference to the Simpsons episode Krusty Gets Cancelled from 1993, season 4, episode 22. Amazing episode. In the scene, Sideshow Mel's got a job at a fast food restaurant, and because he's no longer the sideshow to Krusty the Clown, and he asked him to come back to the show, and Mel says, "Sorry, Krusty, I like it here. Mr. Johansson treats me with dignity." And then Mr. Johansson walks in and goes, "Is this clown bothering you, Mel?" And I've always found that really funny.
Do you know what? When you said, "Does anyone know where it's from?" I should have guessed Simpsons because,
Right,
I mean, about 60% of quotes are probably from The Simpsons. So.
From the first 10 seasons,
Yeah.
anyway. Yeah.
Yeah.
After that, not really.
Do you know what? I've been watching them. Like some of it gets a bad rap after season 10. There's some amazing
Yeah.
stuff past season
Yeah,
10.
yeah.
It's just not all as special and golden. You know what I mean? But there's
Yeah.
some cracking.
It gets a bad rep, doesn't it? There's
it
some
does,
really good
does a little
episodes.
bit. Yeah,
It is,
but, like,
it is worth noting that Colin does a lot of Simpsons Simpsons references in the early
I
episodes.
do, yeah.
I
Yeah.
listened back to him. I was like, yeah, Colin was all about that Simpsons life during that time.
Now, in this episode, it guest stars the Red Hot Chili Peppers, Johnny Carson, Bette Midler, and Elizabeth Taylor. They all appear in this episode. That's huge.
I thought you were talking about our episode for a minute. I was like, did we have Anthony?
one day, my friend.
Oh, also, it's got Luke Perry in it. Luke Perry as well. And now the Rolling Stones turned down a guest spot in this episode. They later appeared in a later episode, I think in like season 15 or something like that.
Yeah.
And Wyona Judd, a country music star, also turned it down. And also a little fact about this episode, Julie Kavner and Harry Shearer both strongly objected to the guest stars at this point in The Simpsons. There weren't many from this point, and they were like, no, we strongly object, it's too much money or whatever. So much so that Kavner boycotted the episode completely, and that's why you don't hear Marge speak in that episode.
Wow, that is some good knowledge, Colin.
Welcome to the Simpsons podcast.
Yeah, Shania has clown clothes in her pants.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Which we, having pulled them out and then sort of menaced me with them, you were like, yeah, that's where I keep my clothes of murdered people. That's where I keep them.
But don't you have like shrouds?
Yeah.
You have shrouds.
Yeah, I mean, shroud. I mean,
Shrouds.
obviously, she has, like a sort of a loinclothy type knicker situation going on.
She doesn't have any of that. She has drow trow.
I love that.
I mean, they're wrapped up in the stuff that's wrapped up, man.
And Carragher and Shania, you intimidate the clown. Do you remember this bit?
Yeah, the clown bit is funny, isn't
It's
it? Because
really funny.
we don't get anything done. We just sort of like harass a clown who's a bit of a knobhead.
It's good.
And is sort of implicated a little bit, and we just harass this clown. It's got some nice gags in it. I was listening back to it. Listening back to it, knowing that the pressure is off for me, being like, oh yeah, I forgot that we don't get anything done. It's actually much more enjoyable. But at the time, we're both like, tell me everything you know. Like, just going, like,
Do you know, the most ancient clowns have been found in the 5th dynasty of Egypt around 2400 BC.
that is some great historical knowledge.
There you go. That's why you
Good
tune into
ancient
Danger
clown.
Recall, Danger
We're
League.
recalling things beyond our birth and life.
It's no longer pop culture. This is a history lesson, all right?
The clown thing is actually hilariously prophetically ironic, because I think shortly after we did that episode, or maybe at the most of us went on to be clowns at a place where we were.
Yeah.
We actually started performing. So certainly me and Ross, we actually became paid
Clowns.
professional clowns.
Yeah.
After listening to that episode, I was like, oh yeah, we went on and did that.
We are the clowns.
Did you take any beatings or give any information out?
No, you're damn right. I didn't take
No.
any meetings. Gave lots of information out. A lot of it was fake.
Yeah.
It was fake.
All right, so where are we? Yes, we have the clown stuff. Shania smells the flower, which turns out to be real. I really thought that Dan was setting you up for a fight there, but then it's actually just a nice flower. And then we have a Sun's Getting Real Low reference.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, does anyone want to talk about that? Do you want to talk about that?
Well, I didn't listen to the episode, so
Yeah, but the Sun's Getting Real Low. Where's the reference? from?
It's Avengers. Yeah, it's Avengers. Second Avengers, Age of Ultron.
Yep.
Tickly on the hand, make you small again. That's what that is.
Tickly on the hand, make you small again. When Joss Whedon was directing that film, he was saying to Scotty Hansen, just remember your Hansen.
Tickly on the hand.
Tickly on the hand, make you small again. Mark Ruffalo's there.
Tickly under there.
Tickly on the hand, then you're small again. That's how it works, man. That's how it
Incidentally, in those early Avengers films, anytime Hulk is called Hulk, he responds in a good manner. Anytime someone calls him Banner, he flips out.
Yeah, I mean that's a general
cool.
note for that timing, that Green Hulk timing. You know what I mean? When he's angry green, sort of no, stupid Banner. Like that's general, isn't it, man?
Yeah, I love it when Kara Gore offers Em a foot rub.
Yeah, no, you just have that amazing pause and then go, no, I don't want that. which is good, because Caragor's just fumbling about with this overly boisterous friendship that he's finding a lot of joy in with this new little team that he's really liking, and he's like getting everyone to punch him, and he's punching everyone. It's all rough and tumble, and then he's offering a foot rub, and eventually Em just goes, "There's boundaries." And Caragor accepts that.
Now they're off to see the Sphinx. There's a group of people shouting. Again, just another group of people. Bobby Mack appears. We talk about our name, Danger Perspective, Danger Thing, Danger Team.
The Danger Perspective should have been the name of this show.
Oh shit! Yeah, the old news show, Danger Perspective. Yeah.
But at no point did we discuss Danger Wolf at this point.
No,
That's,
Danger Wolf.
Damn right we didn't, because we don't need that kind of insecurity in our lives, Drummond. Why are you doing this to me? I'm shaking. Is this what you wanted? You always do this.
Now Moncolio
gaslighting,
is there in the crowd. We should have noticed him earlier. We didn't.
You mean Baron Moncolio?
Yeah, Moncolio. He's like riling everything up and making it all
Yeah,
crazy.
because he's a bumholio.
Should have noticed him.
Should have.
Sheriff Veldane is sorting out the crowd. She thinks it's the carnival. The carnival goes into quarantine. We ask about Shiva.
Oh.
What?
No, just saying quarantine.
I know this. I think that's why I wrote it down.
Yeah.
Quarantine, kind of, in a way.
Is it just that's more of a police cordon, isn't it? Like it's more like a curfew, I suppose.
Yeah,
I guess so. Yeah,
But
yeah.
still applies
Cordoned
to-
off. You're not allowed to go in or out.
You say cordoned off.
Cordoned.
You say cordon with a Q,
Cordoned.
like Quorn.
James Corden it,
James
mate.
Cordoned.
Put you in the James Corden.
We have to
God,
do a
please
danger
don't.
recall on that now, don't we? Like,
Yeah.
wait for that in 20 years, Dangerlings.
While we explain James Corden and Quorn.
Right, we've got 48 hours. Sheriff Feldane gives us 48 hours to sort out the case, and we decipher that there is things being stirred up between the carnival and the town. Obviously, Kara kicks in another door, but we actually go to see the Sphinx. M is to take the lead. The Sphinx comes out huge, and as M goes to ask a question, Shania dips in and starts going, "Oh, we've got lots of questions for you." After establishing out something like, right, M, you take the lead, okay?
Shania was very like a pistol ready to go off at all times in those early episodes, and especially because she's very hot on her detection stuff. She loved asking a question, you know. She was a little. She styled herself as a little bit of a Poirot type vibe.
Yeah.
So she couldn't help herself. And that was it.
So that's episode 9.
Whee!
Nice one.
Logosaurus.
Yeah, episode 8 and 9 in this episode, didn't we? In this part 7 of Danger Recall. Thank you to my guests, Ross Harmston.
Thank you.
Thank you to Scott Besgrove.
You have my thanks.
And a latecomer, Drum and Bow Skill.
Apologies.
No, don't apologise. It was great to have you along. Go check us out on the old social media. Go and give us a review if you haven't yet. Tweet us, all that sort of stuff.
John, didn't you mention in this episode a platform that we could check us out on? Wasn't it Fumblefuck or something?
No, it's not.
That's
I've got
the next
that. Yeah.
That's the next one coming.
Yeah.
Right, tune in next
That's the
week. Thank
next
you for
one.
joining us.
Bye.